Welcome back to In Business. Carolyn Nikkanen has been modeling since the age of 3. Her parents divorced when she was very young and admits there was a lot of stress to deal with. Fast forward to today. Carolyn today runs a successful modeling agency and is heavily involved with charity as well. She is in the studio today to tell us how she got started. Welcome to the show, Carolyn.
Thank you for having me.
So how did you get started? There's usually with the entrepreneurs that I interview, there's something that happened in their life that made them decide that, I want to run my own show.
I think possibly it was working, when I was working for another agency. I used to teach modeling and self-improvement. And just the way I saw that the business was being run, I thought I could do a better job at it. And so that's basically how I got the idea of starting my own.
What was it about that particular, what was going on there that you said, I don't like that, I could do better than that? Have you got some specifics?
Sure, a lot of times appointments would come in. The lady that owned the business wouldn't be there all the time. She just didn't seem to have her whole heart into it. I think she did it maybe for fun, but I felt I could do a lot better. And I wanted to be able to help people achieve their goals in the industry, and I just thought I could do a really good job based on the knowledge that I've had all my life basically in the business.
So in the industry, it's a fairly competitive industry, and so you don't have any partners in the business, but you do have your children in the business.
I do.
What are your children doing in the business for you?
Well, Kristen, my youngest daughter, who's 25, she looks after a lot of the children's bookings along with another agent, so they work in conjunction with each other, so they help each other out. So I'm looking at her possibly running the business. And my other daughter, Lindsay, kind of following in my footsteps as also a professional photographer and makeup artist, so that's kind of what she's specializing in right now.
And sometimes people tell me there's some challenges with having their children in the business. What are the challenges of having your children in the business with you? Or maybe I should ask them, what's the challenge of having your mom owning the business?
I think so, because I think sometimes my daughter says, "Oh, Mom, it's so hard working for you, as my mom is my boss," because I do have rules, and rules meant to be followed, and I don't want to really show favoritism to my girls, because I think everybody should be treated the same. So if she's late, I think I'm harder on my own kids than I am on my own staff.
I think most children of entrepreneurs will agree with that.
Yes.
What's been the lowest point in your career?
The lowest point probably is, I would say, when I opened my business was during a recession. Back in the late 80s, and I think that was a difficult time starting a business. And then again, another drawback in 92 when I got breast cancer. So that was a little bit of a challenge, that even though I was sick and going through treatment, I always came into work, always. So it taught me to be a lot stronger as a business owner, that I can overcome a lot of obstacles and just go with it, and actually kept my mind focused, I think, rather than on myself.
Now, going through cancer, that's a huge ordeal. How do you run a business when you're going through the treatments?
Not easy. So a lot of times my mind wouldn't work totally well, but I tried to stay focused and just time, and allowed myself to be able to do what I could in a certain amount of time, and took rest breaks when I could. But I think my business really kept me going, and it kept me kind of with a positive mind instead of being negative when I wasn't feeling well. So I really take my business as my passion. It's my life, so other than my family. But that's what kept me going.
Cancer survivors say that they have a little bit of a different outlook on life when they come out the other side. How has your outlook on business changed since you're surviving cancer?
Well, I think I don't really sweat the small stuff. I mean, every business has problems and obstacles to overcome, but I think with me it's taught me a lot of just focus on the positive, not the negative. I mean, we're all going to have issues and problems in the workplace, but they can be overcome. And I think by fighting cancer and feeling well today has taught me a lot, that yes, there's problems, and there's lots of times when I feel like just giving up, but I just keep going forward. So it's taught me a lot just to not really sweat the small stuff.
Did you ever think about giving up?
Oh, absolutely. Who doesn't? I don't think I would really be normal or human if I didn't. And I think any entrepreneur today, we all go through obstacles that we have, and I think lots of times, and I know sometimes if I'm having a stressful day and I think if somebody offered me an offer for my business, I think I'd say, here's the key.
And we're we're going to be back with Carolyn for a little bit more. We're going to find out what keeps her going through all those tough times when every morning she wants to give up. Still to come, Neville Pockroy with the Marketing Minute, Sharon Dotan with our book review, and our panel of experts are prepared to tell you how to get your life and your business better organized. There's lots more on In Business right after the break. Welcome back to In Business. We're in the studio with Carolyn Nikkanen, learning how she got started. So before we went away, I asked you about the low points, and did you ever think about giving up? You mentioned that you've thought about it a couple of times. But what keeps you going? I mean, over the course of time, sometimes every morning for a week or a month, you say, this is it, I've had it, I'm going to find myself a job. What keeps you going?
Well, I think number one, learning when to turn it off. I think we have to have a little bit of me time. I think that's a key to being successful. But also, it's a passion that I have. I just love what I do, and I get so excited when I see my performers or actors on TV, or I see my models in a fashion show. And I think, wow, if that wasn't for my business, they might not be doing that. So I get really excited. I feel kind of like the mom of all my talent I represent.
You started modeling at 3. Do you still model today?
I only do if it's for breast cancer, for cancer, for charity, or things like that. But other than that, not really.
So what kinds of things did you do?
Wow, TV commercials, a lot of catalog magazines, and then when I was a little bit older, on Cable 10, my own television show called The Beautiful You many, many years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But just kind of a lot of things. Yeah,
so were you famous like that Gerber baby, or?
No, not really. I was.
What's your most memorable shoot that you did?
I think my most memorable shoot was probably when I did for the Globe and Mail. For some people my age would probably remember the Globe and Mail, and they had a fashion magazine. And I did that because they had a little dog on set with me. And it was Ellen Henderson, who used to have a modeling agency years ago, and she was also a clothing designer. And so because the dog was on set and I was wearing this beautiful cape with fur on it, I just thought, wow, this is just great. And today I look at that picture and it brings back nice memories.
Where were you born and raised?
Toronto.
In Toronto. And brothers and sisters?
I have 4 brothers and sisters. One is a mortgage broker, but he does a little bit of this business on the side. And the other one works in mortgages as well, and another one works in real estate. So kind of more on the real estate background, I guess.
And you are where are you in the pecking order?
I'm the oldest.
Did that have an advantage for you growing up, or a disadvantage?
I don't know. I think as the oldest, we always want to try things first, and I think we feel that we want to be strong for our family, and that's kind of where I see myself. Kind of maybe the leader, or the one that wants to try to help everybody.
What was life like for you growing up?
It was difficult. My parents were divorced, so it was very difficult back then, because back then divorces weren't really popular like they are today, so it was a little bit difficult, but I got through it.
Made you a stronger person?
Absolutely. I was an only child up to the time I was 14. So it was very lonely. I would call it the lonely only child. But then when I had my brothers, I was so excited, and it's really nice. I love them all.
I'm an only child, and I'm okay with it. Especially around Christmas, Christmas time, we're getting
Less
close
gifts,
to that.
yeah.
There's always so much money to go around. I get it all. It's all about me.
Yeah, well, that could be good, too.
Do you think that had anything to do with you becoming an entrepreneur, being that only child, and having that little bit of tough life starting out?
Well, I think it's some of the jobs I've had along the way, because I haven't just been in this industry. I've done some other part-time jobs and full-time jobs along the way. And it's taught me a lot. I know the way some bosses are with people. Mm-hmm. And when I had my two daughters, I thought, I want to be able to have my own business so that I can give my daughters a place to work, somewhere that's comfortable, where they have a sense of responsibility, but they really don't have to work for somebody else.
So you did this all for them?
Basically, yes.
You are a wonderful, wonderful person.
Well, I hope they think that. I always tell my daughter
What
that.
are your daughters' names?
Kristen is the younger
Yes.
one, and Lindsay is the older one.
Kristen, Lindsay, your mother is a wonderful, wonderful person. She's built this business for you. Don't mess it up.
That's what I'm trying to tell them. Don't mess it up.
Now, a lot of entrepreneurs do that. They build a business. Now, you're fortunate. Both of your daughters are in the business and they're interested. A lot of entrepreneurs build a business, and their kids have absolutely no interest.
Yes, and I've heard that from a lot of people that are in my industry, that they've had their daughter or their son working there, and then they decide to do something totally different. Yeah. And then the agent or the owner of the business is wondering, okay, I've built this business. What's going to happen if I want to semi-retire, or if I want to, give it up, but I still want to have my business somewhat or hands-on. So that's a difficult decision, I think, for a lot of people.
We've got about 30 seconds. Carolyn, what's your best piece of advice for entrepreneurs out there watching you right now?
I think never give up. Work extremely hard at what you do, and you have to love what you do, and then you feel like you never have to work a day in your life.
Absolutely fantastic. Sharon Doughton reviews a book that propelled one of the most celebrated presidents into the Oval Office. We review the book, Yes We Did, right after a few words from our sponsors, and thank you to my guest, Carolyn Nikkanen from Carolyn's.